Final Destination is basically like one giant Rube Goldberg machine, which is a contraption designed to perform a simple task in complex and often humorous ways. You kind of see it a lot in OK Go music videos. If you haven't heard the OK Go song, but the music videos is where it's at. Basically, if I drop this, it lands into something else, which rolls and does stuff. That is what all the Final Destinations do. Bloodlines does it as well, don't get me wrong. They do it pretty fun as well, but there are some things that happen pretty often with all of them. There's always some sort of electricity wire thing, like the power line that was running loose in Final Destination 1, and Devon Sawa's character had to literally fight it with a shovel and lose. There's also always some sort of leak, whether it's water or gas. 9 times out of 10, it's gas and something's about to explode. They do that in this, don't worry. There's usually songs like John Denver or other songs that will signify, oh, something scary is going to happen. John Denver being a person in real life that died from a plane crash, every time you heard that song, it's like, oh, God, what's going to happen in Final Destination 1? There are premonitions in all of them, including this one, but there's only one goddamn premonition in this film. Apparently they wanted to just leave the premonition thing altogether and have her just study a book that her great-grandmother or just regular grandmother made for her, that she can see that there are other things coming. There we go. Where she can see other things, where she can see other things coming. Several main characters throughout the series are named after horror directors. A little friendly fact for you. And Tony Todd, who plays the harbinger of almost all the films, that basically says, death has a design. You be scared, little kids. Go on, run now. I'm a coroner, and I deal with dead bodies. I know about death. He is in this one. It is his final farewell. He is only in 1, 2, and 5. His voice is in 3, but he was absent in 4. That kind of sucks, right? Why would 4 just tell him, hey, you can't be in this? I'm going to tell you something. He's lucky, because the worst Final Destination is Final Destination 4. This was the one that's actually called The Final Destination. Ooh. And it was in 3D. Ooh. Because it was in 3D, they decided, hey, fuck the story, fuck the suspense, let's just do a bunch of deaths without building any sort of thing that makes it bite your nails. Let's do mediocre acting and a bunch of CGI. I hated this movie. It was the one with the race car track. It's not good. Other deaths aren't even worth mentioning for this. I give this a small burnt popcorn. Don't watch this. Skip it altogether. But if you want to watch a movie to make fun of it, go ahead and watch it. I don't like shitting on movies this hard, but compared to the rest of the series, this one sucked. I was not a fan. Now, the rest of the Final Destinations were really hard for me to rank, but since I'm trying this whole ranking thing, I change my mind about rankings every once in a while. That's why I can't give like a top 10 my favorite movies of all time, because it always changes. I can't give a number 1, but I can give you a number 5 for now, and that is Final Destination 3, which used to be my second favorite, but then I went through all of them recently before watching Bloodlines, and I got to tell you, I love this movie, but other ones just were a little bit superior. Now, in Final Destination 3, our main event is the roller coaster. Great main event. Goes on for a while, that whole death premonition scene, and it's the ride from hell. The best deaths are still super memorable. The tanning booth, the workout gym, the nail gun, so many. I give this a medium popcorn, but my biggest con with it is that, yeah, sure, we got a Mary Elizabeth Winstead, a.k.a. Ramona Flowers, trying to stop and intervene with these deaths, but she fails every single time. Every single time. Maybe not the last 2, but she fails often. I love her, and I love the acting, and I love the direction of the film. There's so many shots that I really, really enjoy, and it is still super fun. I just didn't like that they failed over and over and over again. It got to a point where Roxy, who was sitting right next to me, said, if this motherfucker dies next, I would just stop trying to stop people, because they seem to be the cause of all of these. And she's right. She's on something. Now, number 4 on the best destinations is Final Destination 2, which I believe is most people's favorite Final Destination because of its main event. And that's the expressway crash scene. Anytime anyone's on an expressway and they see any sort of truck that they're behind, directly behind. They're like, oh, I've seen Final Destination. I'm going to get the fuck out of here, especially if you see something flapping or shaking on the car or truck, whatever. Everyone always thinks about this film when they're driving on the expressway because of this film. And for that to happen, that makes this film iconic. And I would put it at number one, but this is my personal opinion, not what the general opinion is of others. So when I say that, I mean Final Destination 3 should probably be higher as everyone thinks this is one of the best. Final Destination 2, I think most people like this one more than number one, mostly because of this damn scene. The rest of the movie's still pretty good, and I really, really dig that they're kind of a team, the survivors, trying to look out for each other in some scenes, and other people see little signs, like the man with Hook's shadow thing. And it had some good deaths. We had the dentist scene, which wasn't the death that happened after the dentist, that's the death. But the scene that happened with the dentist where the birds kept flying into the window, and he goes, oh, God, this keeps happening. Fucking get some curtains or blinds, bro. It will never happen again. Stop replacing the windows. It's super expensive. There's also the elevator decapitation scene, which is super dope. And we have the apartment scene where the guy that won the lottery gets his hand stuck in the garbage disposal. Putting your hand in garbage disposal is already scary, but to get it stuck while a fire's happening behind you, that's scary. That's very scary. But it was also hilarious. So it was super dope. The team worked. I just thought that other films did a little better. Plus, I hated the fact that I found out that Claire's name isn't Claire, it's Clear. Have you ever met someone named Clear before? No shade on anyone named Clear, but I don't think that's a real thing. All right? So, writer, why did you name her Clear? Because she's like clear-minded. That's just no shade. If I meet someone that's named Clear, I'll apologize to them. But that's a dumb fucking name. All right? And I'm clear-headed. I'm not drunk or high. I'm just drinking Arnold Palmer. Next up. Oh, and I gave this one a medium popcorn. The Bronze Destination. The third best Final Destination is Final Destination 5. Huge surprise, right? That the fifth installment of something is one of my favorites. It's kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street. Like 3 was actually really fucking good. Or other things that have like 6 movies in them. Like Mission Impossible. Fallout is one of my favorite Mission Impossibles. And it really shouldn't be. Because when it comes to the 5th installment of anything, you're more up in arms of, why do they keep making this? Instead of, wow, this was actually really good. I could be saying this because me and Roxy watched 4 and 5 back to back, and 4 sucked so hard that anything else after it is just super awesome in comparison. But they really did work on this film. There were suspense scenes, like it's not ballet, where the balance beams and stuff. The gymnastics scene. That was really good. There's a pin on the walking beam. I think I'm using the right terms. There was just a lot going on. The main event of this is the bridge collapse, which was done very well. It did not make me think like as iconically of driving on a bridge that I'm going to think of this movie, but I'm probably going to think of this movie. I always think of Mothman Prophecies. Big recommend, by the way. Having said that, this was a very well done film. That was a really well done main event thing. The laser eye surgery scene was scary. The acupuncture scene was hilarious. And it was just fun. Medium with butter. I loved this movie. There was also internal conflict with the characters. 3 kind of messed with it, with the guy following them to the fair. And Mary Elizabeth Winstead is like, no, get away from us. And he's like, what? Are you scared? But he really wasn't doing anything. This has someone that's literally trying to kill others in the group. I don't want to give away too much. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Check them all out, even 4. That way you can make your own opinion of things. But 5 was surprisingly good, man. I was so surprised. So, what's the second best? Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. And by air, I mean the sky view, because it was Final Destination Bloodlines with the silver spoon. The main event is this Skyview building collapse. Great event, Skyview. Great event. Has some of the best death scenes in the entire series. Don't get me wrong, besides 4, I think that they worked really hard on all the death scenes throughout this entire film franchise, but they really fucking worked hard on these ones. So much so that we have quality over quantity. The biggest con of this film is that there's not enough deaths. There's so much mediocre storytelling, but interesting characters and really fucking good deaths. The thing that you're going to see for this movie is the thing that you get, and you get that thing tenfold. Just kind of wish the MRI machine was last. So I gave this a medium with butter, if you don't remember, which leaves, by process of elimination, one film that was the best film of the Final Destination series. Can you figure out what it was? I'm going to tell you right now. It was Final Destination 1 with Devon Sawa. Sawa? 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 Yeah, I said it. If you don't remember, this is the one with the plane crashes. Dog, give Devon Sawa like a horror fucking award for this. Because he's the best freaker outer in the entire franchise. Everyone has a premonition in all of the films. You don't really see it in Blood. Actually, you do see the aftermath in Bloodlines where she wakes up from the premonition. But he has the most realistic reaction. And that's, what the fuck, was the plane's gonna fucking explode? And you're like, holy shit, this guy had a fucking premonition. We gotta get the fuck out of here. That's exactly what I would think. And he does it to a T. I'm a big Devon Sawa fan. If you haven't watched Idle Hands, watch Idle Hands. It's super dope. He's also in the television series Chucky. But anyways, it's not just his acting that makes this film great. This film has one of the best plane crash scenes that you'll ever watch in cinema. And I put that up there with The Gray with Liam Neeson. I think that was a very good one. But it also has great deaths in general. His best friend, who's far right on the screen, Todd, he has the first death scene that involved death chasing someone. And that is where he slips on some water and hits a drying clothesline, and he accidentally hangs himself. I'm saying this, it's a fictitious movie, all right? Don't give me shit about laughing. He accidentally hangs himself in the shower. But he slips around so much he can't get up. A little silly, but, you know, sound effects and everything, it kind of makes it like, okay, I can buy this, I guess. Because it shows the supernatural element of death trying to kill these people. So much so that they fucking abandoned it for all the other films. And it was one of my favorite things about the first film. Was death was a character. Meaning, before Todd accidentally hung himself, he looks in the mirror and he sees a black presence behind him. And he looks, turns around and there's nothing there. After, also while he's hanging, his eyes turn bloodshot red. That was a really cool effect. They had these little things that they kept adding to scenes that made it really, really good. But after he's dead, it shows the water that was leaking on the ground start to disappear back into the toilet as if death was cleaning up his mess. That was super cool. Later on, when a character dies in the kitchen, you see her look at a teapot and you see that black presence come behind her. And she looks behind herself and can't see anything. That's really cool. Death is like a serial killer in this film, in this installment, and really only in this installment. The rest, you can see like these weird events happening, these Rube Goldberg machines happening to kill off these characters, but you never see a presence. And I wish that the other films would have kept that tool, that mechanism for the rest of the films, to have death be a presence, not just a feeling. So I gave this one a large, and some of the best, wow, my lisp really got strong there. Some of the best death scenes are, my favorite, I already mentioned basically all of them, except the train track scene with Seann William Scott. That I remember in my mind, because that's where you remember things. The theater going fucking nuts when that happened. That shit was hilarious. And the infamous bus scene that we talked about earlier, because that was one of the first times that someone got fucking smashed with a bus on cinema. At least something so famous and something so new. So, props to you, Final Destination. I see why a franchise was made because of you. All hail Final Destination. All hail. And one more mention of Tony Todd, R.I.P. Final Destination Bloodlines was his last film. They let him do the last scene for his own words as the final words that he wants to give to the audience before he's done with his final role in a film. They all knew. They knew that he looked sickly. I don't think any of them knew about what he was dying from, but they knew. So he has like a little monologue. It's not like, oh my God, one of the best monologues ever, but to know that we're hearing from a character that knows he's going to die soon and an actor who in real life knows he's going to die soon, give off this message to other characters in the film and to the general audiences of the actual world. It was kind of dope. It was really, really cool. I really, really liked it. And it was a perfect message. I think it's a good message of like all the films. I don't want to give it away. I will give it away. No, I won't give it away. That'd be fucked up. But it's a good message. So, see Final Destination Bloodlines in theaters. Before you do, have some fun at home. Grab some popcorn and watch all the Final Destinations on Max right now.